Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Monday, the 17th of April, 2023. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 finished the day up 0.3% to 7,382 points. It's a pretty solid day all around. Goodman Group, ANZ, WiseTech Global and Aristocrat Leisure all jumped by 1% or more. Best in the day was lithium play Lake Resources, up 18%. Plenty going on in the gold sector. The price of the precious metal fell sharply over the weekend, and that sent local miners lower. Several gold diggers were among the worst performers today, at least among the top 200. Leader Newcrest Mining ended down 2.3%. Also today, Regis Resources revised down its production outlook, sending its share price down 12%. And Perseus Mining had to inform the ASX that its staff and physical assets in Sudan are safe after reports of armed conflict in the region. Finally, in that sector, St Barbara said it will sell its flagship Gwalia mine to Genesis in exchange for $370 million of cash and a shareholding in the latter company. That will be somewhere between 15 and 19.9%. Story number 2, the chief executive of EML Payments, Emma Shand, has left the company after just 10 months, after the board appointed Barrenjoey Capital Partners to sell all or parts of the business. The strategic review to sell parts of the business triggered a 14% jump in the group's share price today. Now, EML chair Luke Bortoli said the strategic review came after discussions with stakeholders through which the board formed a view on the urgent priorities for the business. EML appointed former head of Bank of Ireland's cards business, Kevin Murphy, as interim chief executive for a period of just 6 months, suggesting it really wants to sell this business quickly. Back in October, regulators in London joined their Irish counterparts in investigating EML, sending shares to a 9-year low. Since then, activist investor Alto Fox Capital has bought close to 9% of the company. Clearly, it's having an influence. Story number 3, toll road group Transurban today reported record traffic levels with a 13% rise in daily traffic flows, which is about 2.4 million toll road trips a day. But Melbourne drivers are still taking fewer trips on Transurban's toll roads compared to pre-COVID days. In Sydney, the opening of new motorways has helped traffic levels. Transurban said work on Melbourne's Westgate Freeway had caused some disruption to traffic on CityLink. That's the only toll road owned by the group, though it is building another toll road, the Westgate Tunnel, and it's trying to buy Eastlink. In Sydney, traffic numbers have been boosted by the opening of WestConnex and NorthConnex. Also, tolls have been rising on some roads because the deal with the government links tolls to inflation. In Brisbane, Melbourne and Sydney, for example, tolls have gone up by around 6 or 7%. It might sound steep, but it's nothing compared to North America. In the US, Transurban's tolls fluctuate in line with demand. Average daily trips rose 15% during the March quarter, and some tolls jumped by as much as 41%. Story number 4, shares in Smash Repair Group AMA tumbled 35% today after the group said labour shortages and inflation will hit profits. Earnings could be up to 24% lower than previously forecast. AMA has been hit by severe labour shortages and high inflation for the parts it uses for repairs, while agreements with insurance companies have not been adjusted quickly enough to keep profit margins up. Last month, AMA said it had written off cars that would normally be fixed because the waiting time for parts or repairs is too long and the cost becomes too expensive. And finally, story number 5, the United States Navy has sailed a warship through the Taiwan Strait in its first known transit since China carried out an encirclement exercise around self-ruled Taiwan. The US's 7th Fleet said the transit through the strait by the USS Milius overnight was routine and passed through a corridor in the strait that is beyond the territorial sea of any coastal state. Remember, last week, China concluded large-scale air and sea drills in the strait in retaliation for Taiwan's president visiting the US. Today, China protested, saying the US transit was public hype. That's it for the afternoon report for Monday, the 17th of April, 2023. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.